Alright guys, welcome to a new video. So last video we talked about tactics and really why most people do not succeed in the social media marketing agency space. And today I want to be dedicating more to mindset because both are really important, and today you're also going to find out why you can't succeed without one or the other, right? You need them both. So today we're going to be talking about pure mindset and what it really takes to succeed as an entrepreneur. And this is coming from someone who's doing 40K profit per month. In my opinion, I want to aim for way higher, and in my eyes, it's not a lot. And I remember when I was back in my shoes, I would have think that this is a lot, but you constantly just raise yourself, just basically your standards, and you just become a better version once you're at a certain place. You just get content with it and you just want to grow. It's just like the human psychology. So I'm going to be diving into this video, but before I do that, I just wanted to announce that we've recently launched our new agency autopilot program. So if you're interested in starting or growing your agency from 0 to 6 figures and beyond, you can go ahead, go to the link in my bio and check out the page, see if it's something you like. If not, totally cool. And we've also released a new free training, and we really just show you in depth how me and Danny actually scaled our agency to 20K a month on autopilot using automated outreach. And then if you also want to join our Facebook community, there's a link in the description. It's just a lot of like-minded people who are, holding each other accountable, helping each other in the community, and these are all agency owners and consultants. So if you want to be a part of that, you can join it for free at no cost. It's the Facebook group in the description. And lastly, if you want to see behind the scenes of how we run our agency and how we do everything from day-to-day operations, you can go to the description, give me a follow, and check me out. So guys, let's dive right into the video. So first I want to talk about confirmation bias, and really my goal with this video is just to give you more mental awareness about yourself and why we make certain decisions, actions, why we get certain thoughts. So the whole goal of this video is just to become a better entrepreneur by understanding certain principles. So I don't just want to give you techniques because, as one of my mentors says, Quasi, techniques just come and go. And principles just stay and they'll be forever applicable. Same as in the Bible, Proverbs, just timeless principles you can always apply. And we're not going to talk about the Bible. Religion is just pure mindset. So first thing I want to talk about is confirmation bias, right? What does this mean? And it's essentially when you get a thought and, just to really give you an example, and I think this is applicable for a lot of agency owners, that's just what I'm going to make it applicable to. It's, this will not work for me. Let's say there's a person who just started their agency and they already have a mindset of really just internally, they don't say it externally. They're, this will not work for me. And that's just, like a bias that gets created. And then, as you try it for a week or two and you don't get any meetings, you're like, oh, I knew it, right? And then you basically just start stacking that belief and you start to confirm your belief with, reference points that you're creating as you go through the journey. While ironically, it's just something very typical that you don't get any traction when you start out, if you're trying to build a business, right? But as more reference points get created, the confirmation bias can become so strong that the person just quits, stops, it goes to e-com or drop shipping and just stops. And that's really just what the mind does. It's not even something tactical, because people are succeeding. I'm doing it, my mentors are, my students are, and that's really just an example. It's the confirmation bias. So it's basically you tell yourself something that's really new, and then you create reference points based on how it goes in practice. And when it goes bad in practice, you just stack it and it becomes your new belief, and then your belief becomes your reality. And then what happens is you quit, or when things go well, you just freaking kill it, right? You got a client in the first 2 weeks, cool, and then you just get another one. And that's why people say mindset and just business and tactics go hand in hand. I don't say, one is more important than the other, but if I had to pick one, it's definitely mindset. Because if you don't have this awareness, you would just quit in business, right? So then your environment. This is what I had to when I just started out. I remember when I was just in my room, and my dad, I would, as most of you guys know, I had a porn addiction, I had social anxiety, depression, and we'll always play video games in my bedroom as well, and it was kind of bad, and then especially when I wanted to become an entrepreneur. The thing is, if you try to become a new entrepreneur, a new person, in the same environment, it's one of the most hardest things in life, in my opinion. Because, if you've read the book of 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, it shows that, when you are in an environment and you have an event and, like a smell or a sound or anything goes off, it triggers an action, right? So if I would just be bored, I directly hop into video games, right? And, when you're not released to new stimulus, so a new environment, what happens is you just refer back into your old self. Almost no one has the willpower to really find success in the same place they used to be the person in that they are trying to get away from, right? So when you are trying to become a better entrepreneur, it's extremely key to release yourself to a new environment. And this doesn't mean like you have to get your own apartment or new house. Like what I recommend is just try to switch rooms, try to switch rooms with like maybe an empty room or your brother or sister, or just work downstairs, right? That's how I do it. And this is what happened when I went from the Netherlands to Serbia. Like I just got exposed to new stimulus, like a new environment, and I was able to just grow massively and very rapidly. If you've like watched 2 videos ago, my full story, I explained how I went from the Netherlands to Serbia, and it played an immense role in my transformation, to be frank with you. Most people don't have this awareness. You need to be aware that your environment plays a huge role, right? And that's just like the tip of the iceberg. If you have toxicity in your family, or people dragging you down, demotivating you, or you aren't able to share your stuff with anyone, it's just shit, right? It sucks. So environment is really important and very important to have in check, right? So right now I just live on my own and I can just do my own stuff and just, enjoy the freedom and grow further, right? And I'm really happy I got to this point, but the beginning stage is always extremely hard, okay? Then personal problems. So when people go into business, right, they often carry a huge weight of just personal problems. And this could be a variety of really everything. This could be having issues with your parents, or with your relationship, or your friends, or, like bad habits you have. They always, reflect back into your business. So when someone tells me, Bas, my outreach is not working, then I ask them, okay, how many messages have you sent out, and what does the data look like? What have you tracked? Show me. And they're like, yeah, I've sent like 10 messages. I'm like, yeah. Well, that makes sense that you're not getting a lot of traction. You just sent 10 messages. I'll recommend you to send out 500 a day, and this is how you should do it, right? And it's really proven. That's just really what I give them, right? And then they sent 10 messages, and that just doesn't work. And then they just get confused because it's just like a mindset problem stemming off a personal problem. And this can be like a variety of reasons, a plethora of reasons. And it's never really a specific reason. It's different for every individual. Everyone has a different structure of life. There's just so many variables that make a human and creates their own thought patterns and their own perception of life, right? Everyone views it through a different lens. And the best lens you can go to is the lens of reality, right? Being a truthful person, but also being a little bit of a contrarian. That's like what I aim to be. Now, delayed gratification. So we live in an age where it's the most easy thing to just get, like some instant gratification. And what that means is your dopamine gets released when you masturbate, or you play a video game, or you get caffeine, or you drink alcohol. These are all things that are not this. And that is typically what a human life looks like, anything but this. And you don't have to be fully this. You don't have to be fully delayed gratification and everything, because that's just gonna make you numb. It's important to have both. So if you have bad habits that just mess with your dopamine, it messes with your energy. And when you have no energy, you can't do anything throughout the day. So it's really important that you either cut back or you go cold turkey on terrible habits, right? You have to try both to see what works best for you. And everyone has this. Everyone has this, because everyone needs to release their dopamine. Otherwise, you're just freaking numb. I'm not sure if Sam Alvins does it, but I think so, so basically delayed gratification is really important, not only to, really have your dopamine regulated on a healthy level, it's also important to be able to think long-term, right? If you're gonna be starting your own business. Because if you can't think long-term, you're just always like getting instant gratification. If you always get instant gratification, that's just a personal problem that's going to be reflecting into the business, because you want everything instant, and therefore you think the business success is also instant when that's anything but the truth, right? And that's just like you're a millennial or even 20, 30, 40 years old, you know, and you're on social media or anything that just triggers dopamine, and guys, I'm no holy saint, I do it too, but you really have to be disciplined to a certain extent where you just don't self-sabotage, right? And I think like the biggest self-sabotage comes from people being in the same environment, right? And that's just really where it goes wrong. Now, binary stances, and maybe you've not given it the right title, but basically what it means is, you know, you can't just work hard. You got to work hard and you got to work smart. And you can't just be purely, you know, base your life of delayed gratification. You have to have a balance of instant and delayed gratification, right? And most people, they just think either, you know, like there's two poles to a decision or being away as a human. And people always say like, yeah, this is good. This is what I need to do. But in reality, to really, you know, grow as an individual, you need to allow a variation in your life and have both sides of the spectrums, right? So this is something I got taught by a mentor of mine, Sam Ovens. And I just, you know, I'm a part of his program, Up Level Consulting, and maybe the mastermind this year. And it's just really important to not just be biased towards one particular thing, religion or political stance. Like, you have to view both sides of the spectrum, right? And when you allow that kind of variation in your life, you'll grow as an individual accordingly to that. And therefore, it's really just important that, for instance, if you're talking to a person, right, you can't just listen, you also got to talk. It's just, you have to do always both things to really make the most out of, you know, yourself and your character as a human. So that's really important to have as a part of your life. And then routines, right? So a great book I recommend to just get started with routines is The Miracle Morning. I remember when I bought that book, I felt immensely happy because I just held promises to myself, and I actually felt myself really changing as an individual, because when I did my first morning routine ever, it was something I never did before. And when I did it, that I just felt happy. I remember doing a morning routine, and what it would look like is I'd wake up at 5:30, and then what I do is actually grab my preset clothes. And a good morning routine actually starts with a good evening routine. But I would grab my preset clothes that I would have like put ready in the evening, and we'd go to the shower, I dress up, I put my gym bag, I do my affirmations, I do my meditation, and then I go to the gym. And then, you know, I'd be done about at 7:30 a.m., something like that. And I just feel absolutely amazing, right? Because most people don't do it. Most people, you know, like they wake up at 11 or even sometimes 1 p.m. And I had the sense of like, wow, I'm 4 hours ahead and I've already done everything at 7:30. And that's one of the best feelings I ever had. And so when you not only that, not only will you feel like as if you're growing as an individual, like you actually are, when you have a routine, you know, it's important to have a constant in your day, right? If you always wake up at different times and you have a different diet and all these things are different day to day, you're gonna waste so much time long term, and you will be extremely inefficient in business and also in life, to be frank with you, that, you know, when you don't have a routine, you're gonna waste years of, you know, just wasted time that could have been resolved by just having a routine in place. Now, self-image. So just understand that what you believe is your reality. If you think, you know, like I used to think a lot that I was just a loser and no one would listen to me, and by now I've helped dozens of people just by sharing content like this and helping them with their business. And if I, you know, always had that thought of, oh, I'm a loser, I'm not worthy of success, you know, like, oh, I can never become more than this person, or just like these thoughts, these are reference points that determine your reality, right? And what you believe ultimately is your reality. It really doesn't matter like what is actually the truth, right? Ethically or whatever. Like what you believe is the truth, and what you believe becomes your reality ultimately, okay? And this is just extremely powerful stuff to know, because you can decide with your own thoughts what you want to believe and what not. Even if it's not true, you decide it, right? If you've got conviction in what you believe and you truly believe in it, that's your reality, right? As I said, everyone has a different lens they view the world through. And there's just not one lens, right? You determine your own lens. And that's like how you can make the most out of life. So it's not only really key to have a positive self-image, and basically just to summarize real quickly, it's like how you view yourself. You know, if you view yourself as a loser, you're gonna behave like a loser. If you view yourself as a very cool guy who is amazing in business and, you know, like deserves success and can help your family, then you'll become the guy over time, right? Like, it's not something, you know, like if I believe I'm a billionaire now, like that's kind of bullshit, right? Like, you have to also make these things like positive, realistic. You know, like, I don't believe in just positive thinking. I believe more like in optimism. I love that. And, you know, like, everyone views through different lens. Like, I may have a few haters like watching me right now. That's cool. That's their lens. They hit on people. Or, you know, I may have some people right now that just like love what they're seeing right now, and I absolutely dig that. You know, and that's just what I do it for. I don't make room for that. So what you really believe is ultimately your reality. And guys, this is just a little brink of mindset. Like, there's so much that goes into mindset. You can't just, in my experience of 2 years of being in entrepreneurship, also into fitness previously to that, which requires, you know, like a solid mindset. I've invested into Quasi's program. I've invested into Trey, my mentor. I've invested into Uplevel Consulting Accelerator, many other programs, many other people. I think I've invested over $30,000 by now, and I feel like I don't know a lot. Like, I know a lot, but I don't know a lot, if that makes sense. All right. So I hope this video was valuable to you guys. If you liked it, leave a like, leave a comment with your thoughts. Let me know if this helped you, and if you want to see a video on something specific, leave a subscribe, because I post this content daily, every single week. And yeah, guys, that's it. Thank you for watching this video. And if you haven't seen our new launch yet on the Agency Autopilot program, you can just check it in the link in the description. I can definitely say it's just worth the 1 minute checking it out, because it may change your life. Thank you so much, and have an amazing day.